and welcome to Citizens Dialogue on First Next News. As the conversation begins, First Next takes you through the issues shaping our national directions. Today, we open the floor to focus on meaningful dialogue on governance, policy, accountability, and the voice of the people. Stay with us as we examine the headlines and engage leading civic minds for sharp and thoughtful perspective. Igbo monarch urges President Tinubu to release Nnamdi Kanu or return him to Kenya in what seems to be a growing wave concern over national sovereignty. Some prominent Nigerians have voiced strong opposition to the proposed U.S. troop presence in the country. Amid what appears to be intense debate and political sparring, the Senate has finally passed the Electoral Act 2026 bill. Bringing you this report is Cassie Tony. We'll go on a short break now. When we return, we'll dive into this conversation. Stay with us. Welcome back to the show, Citizens Dialogue on First Next News. I remain Cassie Tony. On set with me is Kings Ojalo. It's a pleasure having you on set, Kings.
As usual, Cassie, it's my pleasure being here as always. Thank you very much for having me once again.
It seems like you didn't even miss me.
Although, of course, you've been missing our recent shows.
And you did not miss me.
With our colleague, Ugochukwu. Well, your absence has been controversies, but I'm glad you are back.
So my absence has been controversial.
It seems you went on a good, big appointment, I think so.
Well, I had to. Thank you so much. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you.
You know, this Nnamdi Kanu, the Enugu monarch, has actually said that President Tinubu should release Nnamdi Kanu or send him back to Kenya where he brought him from. No, prior to this time, let me just refresh our memory. We could recall that Nnamdi Kanu was arrested in June 2021 in Kenya, specifically in Nairobi.
Yes.
And then the government described his arrest as international interception and returned him to Nigeria because of that. Now, his lawyers say that this arrest was adopted, that they adopted him. They adopted
an unlawful act.
Yeah, they adopted him in Kenya. Now, this traditional ruler has actually come out to say that Nnamdi Kanu should be released or they should send him back to Kenya. He said that the youths are angry. They see them as sellouts, that they are collecting money from the government in order for them to keep quiet. Now, what do you have to say about all of this?
First of all, the capturing of Nnamdi Kanu was not actually an arrest the way the federal government put it.
So it was an adoption.
What constitutional law will you go to another country without the full permission of that country's constituent permission to take someone under their care, or let me put it, under their country custody and thereabout. I will go with the lawyer who accused the federal government of adopting the IPOB leader Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya, because that was not a legal arrest. You understand? That was, a lot of prominent Nigeria have stated that fact. So far, so good. Now, looking at our dear monarch, Igwe Lawrence Ogobuzu, you understand, from Ezema Olu Kingdom in Enugu State. And, he has really taken a bold step that most monarchs, most indigenous people from the southeast would have taken a long time ago. Yes, though we've been seeing agitators, we've been seeing speakers also asking the federal government to release the IPOB leader and, reschedule look into his case again rather than sentencing him to life imprisonment, just as what has occurred, in the life of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Now, a lot regarding this remark that just took place by the monarch, a lot of people have said, oh, who is this monarch, to stand on the face of the president, also because he made a statement and said that Nnamdi Kanu is just like how will I put it? Just like he is a counterpart of Sunday Igboho. That is the Oduduwa agitator. You understand? Now, looking at the comparison, he is telling the federal government it's a simple thing. He did not go out there. He did not go to that meeting to feel the president, making a biased move towards Nnamdi Kanu. But it's just stating the fact that look, our counterpart was pardoned when he was sent to exile to Benin Republic and thereabout, and he was pardoned by the federal government himself, where he went to his hometown Ibadan and made references to the monarchs of that. So also, why not do the same to our own agitator? You understand? Pardon him his sins and move on. Rather, see, if you don't want him in the country, send him back to the country which he was taken from, Kenya or London. It's a very simple thing. Now, people say, oh, this monarch does not have that integrity, does not have the right to stand in the face of President Tinubu. Dr. Lawrence, the monarch, who has come out in this fervent way to, stand in the face of President Tinubu, has been in so many, public services. He served, as an international leader. He has also played an ambassadorial role. He has taken so many services before he became a monarch, in his hometown. So anyone coming out, to say that, oh, the monarch does not really have a word to say. Now, what are the key points he's appealing for? He's giving a direct remark, urging the president to bring him out and, started that if the government is uncomfortable with his presence in Nigeria, should send him back. And he also talked about regional unrest, just as you made it, just as you stated that, he is saying that the youths of the community are seeing these monarchs and see the leaders that they are the one fueling, the continuous, capturing of the agitator. You understand? And that is clear. You understand? I too, some time ago, I was also part of that way. Yes, I was also part of that criticisms. Blaming most of the leaders, most of the traditional leaders, collecting, bribe from the federal level so that they will keep their mouth shut. But this monarch has proved them wrong. Okay. He has taken a bold step. What so many monarchs, even when Sunday Igboho of the Oduduwa agitator, even when he was captured and sentenced to exile, how many monarchs from the southwest came out to appeal?
Okay, so you said the monarch now has come out to say that just to prove them wrong. What if he's actually saying it in order to waive the youth's agitation off their back, in order to make the youth not to feel that, okay, they are part of.
To me, I see this monarch as someone who is doing what a monarch should do. You understand? He has really performed an astounding action. Okay. Unlike others, we have so many Ezes in the southeast. We have so many monarchs in the southeast. Prominent monarchs. Is it the one in Abia State? Is it the one in Anambra? Name all of them. How many of them has come out? Even look at the record of record of this monarch. He is not even. He's just a community in Ezema Olu Kingdom in Enugu. You understand? So this is just even a little, probably a small community, not a prominent community. Let me say, okay, let me use for example like the Oba of Benin. The Oba of Benin is the well-known Oba in the whole of Edo State. You understand? But this one is just someone who is at the side of Enugu and is really taking a bold step that even most prominent monarchs can't even take. You understand? So you should see the differences. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. For him to be outstanding, you should see the differences. Okay. You should know that if there is any monarch in the southeast who is, having shares with the federal government in order to be silent in cases of in the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, this one is different from them. Okay. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Yeah. So we also have, he's talking about trust issues. He noted that the traditional rulers are increasingly seen as sellouts, just like I said. Yeah. He also talked about he compared this situation with that of he has really stated the facts. Okay. You understand? Now, I think my own remark on this, I think the president should really make an adjustment because continuous criticisms, continuous appealing, is not bringing it, is not stating a good fact out of the president. Right, you understand?
Thank you so much,
it will look as if there is a biased move towards this agitator, and that is what is happening. You understand? Someone said if Obi becomes president, that it is a clear freedom for Nnamdi Kanu. That is to say that you are trying to say that indeed the president knows he is intentionally taking this drastic action in order to keep the Southeasterners in one corner.
Okay.
I don't know if you understand.
All right,
so I think the president
much,
should look into the case of Nnamdi Kanu and really make amends towards it.
All right, thank you so much, King. So this is an appeal to the president, Tinubu, to take action
exactly
based on the appeal. Now let's move to another major story of what is growing like a wave of concern over sovereignty in Nigeria. You know, we could recall that President Trump actually sent over 200 U.S. troops to Nigeria.
Recently.
Yeah, and recently to Nigeria. And then these people, they were actually happy about it. It was the our president accepted these troops coming to Nigeria. Now we see three groups that call themselves prominent Nigerians coming to kick against this change, coming to kick against this collaboration. They say that it is, according to them, let me quote what they actually said. They said, "No to foreign forces in our land, defend our sovereignty." They say that the presence of U.S. soldiers in Nigeria raises serious constitutional and sovereignty concern. What do you have to say about this development?
Now, concerning this development, I know many Nigerians will say, "Oh, these people who are standing against the U.S. Troops arriving in Nigeria, it seems they are having something to do with the insurgencies are thereabout."
Yeah, because they went further to quote the Constitution,
yes, but,
starting from 1999.
In one way or the other, I will go with them in one way or the other, and in another round, I will still, applaud the president in,
So now you want to play the devil's?
No, I'm not playing the devil's advocate. I'm a two side right now. Now,
okay.
Let me explain the facts. Now, these individuals, we are looking at them as they are activists, and they are also playing the role as senators and thereabouts who are trying to state constitutional right for the U.S. to apprehend the country regarding the insurgencies. We all know, yes, U.S. is the world police, and they are really taking the United Nations rights on helping sovereign nations, and including sovereignty nations, on how to tackle menace. But I think let's look at it from another perspective on what this individual is trying to state here. Now, let's start with the sovereignty, our sovereignty state. Sovereignty state is a state that takes full responsibility and full backing over the affairs of the country itself without
so you describe Nigeria as a sovereign state.
Of course. Now they are looking at the risks. The coalition warned against stationing foreign troops, into the soil that might lead to setback and dangerous precedent. What do I mean? Now, let me start with countries like Iran, Pakistan, those Middle East countries that the U.S. have invaded long time ago. You understand? And if you look at the situation right now, let's be honest with ourselves, Cassie, we will see that it has not been in good form. We've seen countries where the U.S. have tried to invade, in backing up. Okay, look at Russia and Ukraine. We all know that Russia and the U.S. are not in good terms. You understand? So now the Russia and Ukraine having misunderstanding and this great war happening between those. You can see that the intervention of the U.S. has even made it worse for Ukraine. Because U.S. in one or two ways are trying to sideline Ukraine, supporting them with drones, supporting them with some gadgets in order to tackle the insurgencies of Russia and thereabout. Now you see the war states that came out of it. Russia are not ready to back up because they know they have an enemy behind them. Now what am I trying to say? Now, U.S. coming into, they've landed in so many regions of Nigeria. They landed in Taraba, they landed in Gombe. I think they also landed in Sokoto. You understand? Trying to position themselves in those regions
strategic area that
this ISIS, Boko Haram base and sites are located, which is a good one. But let's look at if peradventure, I know for the fact that U.S. can handle this menace.
Okay.
In a twinkle of our eyes, the U.S. will be able to clear out Boko Haram and all these insurgencies from our country. Yes, the tax our Nigerian militaries could not handle, the US will be able to. I agree with that. But these individuals are looking at the risks behind it. You understand? They feel that the US also have another intention. You understand? Probably we have had a lot of critics saying that the US invading Nigeria, coming to Nigeria, are after our resources, are after so many things. You understand? And in one way or the other, I think I kind of buy that, because they are coming for something and they cannot go for nothing. That is what they are saying.
So they
here.
always have something to take out from wherever they go to.
Allegedly, we can't just fully classify until we see it clearly. You understand? But in other, they also talk about lack of transparency. That is, this federal government ought to have fully consulted the Senate for total approval. You understand? So I think that one too, I go with that. You understand? A sovereign state should, a thing like this, in a sovereign state, there should be a total approval from the Senate. Okay, go ahead, we approve this. Not trying to do it at the back of most prominent senators who, constitutionally, they have right to approve such a mandate to be taken fully.
Okay, so in all of this that you said, it simply means that these people are afraid that the Americans will come in and they'll take our resources, our mineral resources, or are they afraid that they themselves, they are guilty of all of this, or they have a hand?
Remember the list of individuals that the U.S. Treasury Secretariat House, placed under watch list. Concord was there and thereabout. These people, these individuals, their name was not mentioned. So they are actually trying to, show the federal government, look, that there might be great consequences on the arrival of U.S. in our country. Yes, they are coming to help, but on the long run, there might be one or two activities that will be done that will really affect the well-being of the people. That's what we are saying. We see these so-called insurgencies or ISIS or whatever they call them. Right now, let's be honest, they are regrouping, and it's going to cause great war, and it might even affect citizens who don't even have anything to do with war thereabout. So what we are looking at, I think these individuals are looking for a means whereby there will be subordinate move, you understand, for a total agreement with all constitutional bodies that will enable them move on, rather than taking decision in one side. I don't know if you understand me. So that is what we are talking about here. You understand? So the US, me personally, let me be honest with you, I am happy that the US has, arrived in Nigeria, because the menace happening so far so good has been a terrible one. It's really taking the lives of... And
at the same time, you think they are coming in is...
Exactly. So there should be total coalition in this move, so that it will be taken drastically without, causing more hindrance in the economic system of Nigeria.
All right, thank you so much, Kings. Let's move to what appears to be intense debate and political sparring. We could see what happened in the Senate during their meeting, the fight that happened. They started calling themselves names. APC. Ole.
In fact, I even wanted to start with that.
No, I can't miss that particular name calling for anything. Exactly. APC Ole, and then you will leave me with the thoughts of why is APC afraid? What are they afraid of? If they are so sure of themselves, if they are so sure of their capability, why are they scared? What are they afraid of? Are they afraid that APC will come and take over the seats from them?
Kasi, APC Ole is not even a thing. We are looking at the Senate. You understand? The Senate amendment of this electronic bill, you understand, making it now totally manual. You understand? It's not even APC is not the only is not the only party in Nigeria. Let's be honest with ourselves. Let's look at the Senate. It is the Senate they should be addressing. They should call Akpabio,
so
not
APC. The Senate although
we know that is
but
a collective
Akpabio
move. That is what I'm saying.
APC
yes,
now.
We all know that it's a collective move. But how many, aside Akpabio and probably the legislative speaker and thereabout, have you seen any other, even the president himself, has he ever come out to say, oh, I'm in support of this? Let's be honest, as the president,
he won't come out. He won't come
so what are we saying? They should address the individual personally, call the name of the individual. But we all know that, yes, it's under the platform of the APC that all this is being happening. When Aberibe, who, condemned the acts, demanded a former division, you know, of the Clause 60, that is the Clause 60, where the legislative speaker was, you know, hammering and, you know, trying to push it into law and thereabout. I think that was when this whole noise came about. You know, this is a means of protesting, and again, I think this protest and this you know, these actions taken by most prominent people, activists, you know, which in fact they really come out in mass this time around. And if this is a clear message, if Nigeria does not get it right coming 2027, it is over. That is just it. It is over, because these people have really strategically sat down, you know, made, you know, how would I put it now? They've really calculated how it will favor them coming 2027. You understand? So I think the protest, the agitating, every actions, every prominent individuals are taking to make sure that it goes back to the electronic transmission means of election in Nigeria, and coming 2027, I think they are doing the best thing. Honestly speaking, I wish I have what it takes to also be a part of that protest. My dear, I'll be in the field today, because these people are heading Nigeria to that Nigeria will be in the hand of just one individual. I don't know if you understand. That is where they are headed to, and that is what everyone is coming out to say no for. You understand? This is a democratic system. So one man trying to play the act of the whole federation is uncalled for. You understand? How can what right does those who are not how will I put it now? Those who are not more fortunate or privileged, you understand, what right do they have? Okay, look at our politicians currently now. You can see them, starting with Nyesom Wike, taking the son all along. Look at President Tinubu. We have the Sheyi Tinubu creating a ZCT boy movement, so that he will also be a part of the political system. Okay, look at all our high stakeholders, our president, bringing out what is the fate of the common man? You understand? Is it that you are trying to turn this country to a monarchy nation or what? You understand? So with this manual voting means being passed into law, see, it's a way of attacking the system for just one particular person. But did they have to wait for the fight to happen before passing this bill? That is what they are saying. They've seen it that, look, people can't be quiet anymore. And if it's not, let me be honest, it's not about protesting, it's not about saying ole. There must be a thorough action that must be taken on this Senate, or else or else these people will get away with whatever they are ready to. You get what I'm saying? Yes. Now, the simple solution to all of this is just like I said. It's not all about, you know, protesting. It's not all about coming. We should take a drastic action towards it. That is just it. Because these senators, they need people who really be serious with them. You understand? Coming out to protest, calling out stakeholders will not really solve the issue. Nigeria is heading towards a situation that it will never live again. These people know what they are doing. You understand? The fate of the common man will be vanished, and we won't have anything on there will be no say anymore. So it is best, they really need to take this matter serious. I think to an international body that will help come and save Nigeria. That is it. A lot of people say, oh, the US will intervene in the 2027 election. But see, no man will come to our country to help us if we don't make the demand. So that they don't end up making Tinubu like president. So we must have to call for international body. That is the best solution. We have to call on the UN. We have to call on any international body to intervene in this matter, or else it will be too late. And if Nigeria does not get it, coming 2027, we've missed it already. All right. Thank you so much, King Sojalo. We've come to the end of the show, Citizens Dialogue on First Next. You've heard it from our analyst. If Nigeria doesn't get it right this time, come 2027, it is over. Let's call it doom. Yes, exactly, doom. I really key to that word. But I pray I will not be here to witness. But that is what will happen if we don't get it right now. All right. It's a pleasure having you on. Thank you so much. Thank you for being back again, Cassie. Thank you for always showing up. And to you, our amazing viewers, many thanks for watching. Stay tuned, stay informed on this channel as I bring you more updates. I remain your host, Cassie Tony. Is a bye for now.